Now, welcome back. Now, Sanlam Namibia offers investment products that accommodate different investor risk and return preferences. Now, joining me in studio with more on this product is Stephanie de Klerk, a business development consultant at Sanlam Investments. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome to GMN.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Okay, now let's get into it. Sanlam Investments, I mean, we have heard of Sanlam, but is Sanlam Investments different from Sanlam? Talk to us about that.
Well, I mean, and that's the interesting thing, and that's why I think the opportunity here is of cardinal importance to us. So Sanlam Investments forms part of the Sanlam Group. Now, Sanlam as a group provides financial solutions of a personal and institutional nature, and obviously those kind of clients as well. So the services that we provide really include, amongst others, your asset management, you have risk products, group risk, personal financial services, property management. So what we're saying as a business is that we provide services or a diversified scope of financial services to both personal and institutional clients. We were founded in 1980, so we recently also celebrated 104 years in terms of business existence. So we're basically not a new kid on the block. We've been around the block a couple of times, in fact. We have a direct presence in 31 countries on the continent, so we are a multinational. And then we also enjoy, via our emerging market flagships, we enjoy presence in the likes of India, the Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, as well as Lebanon. And then we have our developed market boutiques in Ireland, as well as the US, and then, of course, the UK. So definitely not a new kid, like I said. And obviously, our business group operations are set up in 5 clusters, which involves your Sanlam Corporate, Sanlam Personal Finance, Sanlam Investments, of which Sanlam Investments Namibia forms a part. And then we have Sanlam Emerging Markets, as well as Santam. So really a big player in the industry for a many amount of years. Okay,
quite in investment, in insurance, you are all over quite vested in it.
Yes.
Let's talk about, you talked about the diverse range of portfolios that you have. Oh. And an interesting conversation would be that what would be the difference in investing in a unit trust and investing in stock markets, and what differentiates the two?
So I think, thankful to Hollywood and movies, I think people are more akin to, stockbroking and, investing in stock markets. And I think the cardinal difference between the two really is that whereas with stock broking, you would have access to investing in equities and shares, which are linked to companies. A unit trust, a lot, is really a combination. So what we do is we pool the money of many investors and we invest that in a variety of different asset classes, which includes, mind you, equities and shares, but also we give the investor access to cash, your money markets, also to bonds, whether those are corporate bonds or government bonds, property, listed property, as well as all of those asset classes within the offshore space in our global space. So basically what we are saying, when it comes to unit trust, the investor enjoys a broader range of underlying assets within which to invest. And because of that broader range, you also then enjoy what we call a diversified risk portfolio. So you could have your conservative investor that would want to be invested in, markets where you don't see a lot of volatility. For that investor, we really keep them within the money market bond space. But you also have your savvy guys that, kind of understand risk and reward. So those we can then expose to equities and shares and the offshore space.
All dependent on your risk appetite, of course.
That's exactly it. That's exactly right.
Let's talk about the fact that, there are these quick get-rich schemes that are is one's money safe in a unit trust?
So, I mean, I get this question a lot and I enjoy it because I think the cardinal difference between what we do at unit trust and what is happening currently with these Ponzi schemes, as a business model, unit trust does not take someone's money to pay another person, which is what your Ponzi schemes do. And that's why the guys that get in first are very happy in your Ponzi schemes. The unit trust industry is a very long-lasting industry. I think the first laws were drafted in 1938. So it's very heavily regulated. We do have a country regulator, NAMFISA, that comes obviously with our compliance factors and statutory obligations. So in that way, it is regulated. And of course, I think we all know NAMFISA to be true to its word as far as compliance is concerned and protecting investor interest. Also, I think in terms of the money, the funds of investors are not necessarily held within our asset management firm itself. We really have these with our custodial bank account. So that is a third party that is also involved. our investment decisions are managed by MANCO, our management committee agreements, and those agreements are also then provided to NOMFISA, who then come and make sure that we are, behaving according to our own agreements when they do their auditing. And then I think very importantly, with unit trust lot, you cannot have any third-party withdrawals on your account. So I have to, as the investor, provide my own bank account, and no other person can then transact on that account, once, we've set out whose bank account it is, and we will actually ask for confirmation from your bank as to whether or not you have that bank account. So I think there are, the necessary and requisite safe measures in place as far as money is concerned.
Okay, let's talk about how Namibians can use actually unit trust to unlock wealth opportunities.
Right, so this is probably part of my core business as the business management consultant. So I think investment is about understanding risk. And one's temperament and your understanding of risk has to it two things. So either you don't know, and therefore you have to be educated about, what investments entail, or you do know, but you don't really have experience with having done it. So while bank accounts are, I think, in our country, the usual way in which people would want to save money, investment really means or says that we take it a step further to say that, look, you invest in a certain asset class, and you also then understand that the longer you are invested in that asset class, the bigger the risk or the reward on that investment. And of course, what we do with unit trusts is we say to our investors that, look, you get then access to the Namibian markets, and I think that is where the wealth issue comes in. Usually it would be very, expensive for the average Namibian to afford, kind of getting into even stockbroking or asset management. But at Sanlam Investments, we've been able to keep our costs so low. I mean, our minimum investment is, $500 Namibia dollars on a monthly basis, and I think $1,000 in terms of your lump sum investment. So really, we've been able to bring our products to the clients at a very affordable cost. And you basically, because, we are not a small player, so we have a lot of assets under management, and that has helped us to really keep our shared cost between the investment, our unit holders, very low. We also offer our clients diversified risk. So like I was explaining to you earlier, if a client is risk averse and is only interested in, kind of capital protection, then we do have the necessary funds within our money market fund, our floating rate fund, that can basically cater to those clients. Those funds offer what we call capital protection. You do find the client, however, that understands that, okay, fine, the longer I am invested, the bigger the risk and therefore the return. And therefore, those clients, we do then give access to what we call our Sanlam Namibia Inflation Linked Fund, or basically our Sanlam Namibia Balance Fund, or our flagship one, our General Equity Fund, which is a purely equity and share-based fund. And then I think for your more savvier investor that understands the longer term and wants to be on the longer threshold of our investment period, we have what we call our Sanlam Namibia Global Fund. So again, I think because we have these 9 funds available, we are able to respond to the needs of our most conservative, as well as our most assertive and aggressive and savvy investors. And that's, I think, where we have done well as a business. And that's how we've helped Namibians unlock wealth locally.
Okay. Considering those perhaps that don't want to risk so much, those that are mild in their investments, and those obviously foresee growth in the wrong. Let's talk about how Sanlam Investments specifically contribute to this wealth, to this concept of wealth generation in Namibia.
Right. So I think what's important for us is that, our vision is to help our clients live with confidence. So within the greater, kind of narrative of Sanlam as a business, confidence includes being able to protect your client's wealth. So that's one thing. And that we do really through our group risk on our insurance products. But the second part of that conversation is really helping our clients to generate wealth. And I think we saw it very well now with COVID. You kind of understand that there is a need to put some money away for the just in case, for the rainy day. And I think investment helps our clients, kind of going from having insured a lot of my goods and insured my income and protected my income, I can now start having a conversation about making more money for myself through these passive vehicles, which are called, your unit trust with Sanlam. So as a Namibian asset investment company or firm, we have about 7 investment professionals locally. So we are a homegrown team. And we are assisted by around 16 administrative staff. So we're not a post office for, your bigger guys that are sitting elsewhere. We are very much local as lekker. We are Namibianized. And also, I think the good thing about our team is that while we've been able to retain a lot of, the older guys, our average age within the team is 37 years old. We have also been able to bring in, a younger, savvier, a kind of team that understands, how we're moving into digitalization and innovation, for example. We have a relatively low staff turnover. The average time is 10 years, and that speaks to the fact that the team believes the philosophy that we have at Sanlam Investments. It believes that the business is doing what it can do for Namibia as a country. And of course, what my personal favorite is that we have more females in terms of our staff component that really deals with our interfacing. So in that regard, we've really worked hard at localizing and retaining skills locally. But because we are part of a larger group called Sanlam Investments, we are able to leverage off the skills and expertise of the guys that are sitting, for example, in Cape Town. So we are a local asset manager, but we do have access to skills and techniques that are used in South Africa. So that is, I think, what gives us the differentiating factor, if you will. We are localized, but we very much have the skill and the muscle to kind of, make sure that we make the best investment decisions and that we deliver the best house view going forward for our investors.
Of course, no one can exist in isolation.
That's
Definitely stakeholders engagement. Let's talk about the fact how Sanlam specifically can help or can assist Namibians in their investment journey.
So as a responsible financial advisor, we understand that, client education, first of all, and secondly, sound financial advice is key. And in that regard, ourselves as Sanlam Investments, and I think the larger group uses our distribution channel very well. Now, if you ask the question, what is the distribution channel? So we have advisors that are, qualified and they are trained within the business. Some of them might come with a financial background as well, but if they don't, we train them internally as part of our vesting exercises. So they are then basically seized with the function of, number one, understanding the client's investment needs. Secondly, they also have to then carry out what we call our risk profile assessment, which is what we were speaking about earlier, about how palatable is risk to a client. And once they've done that lot, they have to then link that risk profile to our 9 products that we have within our stable. So what we're saying is that we are not leaving the client to their own devices. We have our intermediaries, which are our Sanlam advisors, financial advisors and brokers, that come in and really have those important discussions with our clients and link them to the correct product that responds to their needs. But we have realized that, of course, there is a whole generation that thrives off digitalization, that wants to do their own thing, that doesn't want to talk to anyone. So for those clients, we've developed what we call our Smart Invest tool. Now, this is really an online onboarding platform. It's much like your shopping cart experience. So you can basically go onto the application. It takes you through our 9 funds that we have available, and it then asks you the necessary questions. Which funds are you interested in? What looks good to you? And then you can basically onboard yourself, without ever having seen a financial advisor. So we've really catered through our digitalization strategy to your Generation Z as well. So yeah, I think there's a platform to have a human discussion with someone about our products. But also, if you don't want to, you can really just go to www.sanlamsmartinvest.co.za/Namibia, and you can access the Smart Invest tool in that way.
Now, for those that might be experiencing the issue of digital divide or perhaps might have concerns about technology, how can they be able to get hold of you?
So for those individuals, they can send any and all of their queries to our email, our online platform, which is really collective@sanlam.com.na. So it's an email platform. You can ask us any question related to our product offering as well as investments in general. That is Sanlam, or that is collective@sanlam.com.na. So you can ask us questions in that way, or you can just give us a phone call. That is our number. I think it should be on the screen. I've asked for it to be put there, 061-294-7417.
Okay. Is there anything else that we might have left out this morning?
No, I think just to thank you for the opportunity and to really underscore that, you know, as Namibians, I think we are sometimes very adverse to risk and taking a chance in life. I think when it comes to investments, one really needs to just understand, you know, there's always going to be risk. I mean, getting out of bed in the morning and driving your car is a risk in itself. But once you are able to mitigate and have access to professionals that are trained to deliver the service, there should be relatively confidence that you're in good hands. And of course, at Sanlam, we guarantee that you are.
Okay, indeed. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you so much.